Martin Luther had a dream, and it's so interesting, when you really think about it, we're all given dreams. And the Lord, His dream is our dream. And when about 8 years ago, the Lord had given me a dream, but I didn't really know what the dream really consisted of. I knew partially the portion of the dream, and the Lord went ahead of me and made the way for this dream to come forth. And Honey and Locust actually was given to me. The name was given to me about 7 years ago as I was jogging down the path in our little small town, and the Lord said to me, Honey and Locust. The honey and locust, and I said, Lord, well, what do you mean honey and locust? I don't know. And He said, well, I want you to call it honey and locust. And I said, I didn't know what He meant, what it was going to be. I had no idea, but I thought, well, if this is really the Lord, then I'll put it on the shelf and I'll wait for something to happen. So the years went by. The Lord had brought me into lots of different areas, the prophetic area, and also the Hebrew roots area. And it came to me through a series of learning curves the Lord had brought me through. And the learning curves consisted of learning about prayer, learning about spiritual warfare, learning about prophecy, just the basics of our faith. And what the apostles went through during the period where Acts was played out on the stage, the world stage. Through that, the Lord, I began to see all these things, experience all these basics in our faith, but there was a moment in time where I realized that there's something more, and I was missing something, and I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. It was a gut feeling that I had, but I knew it was there, and I didn't know what to make of it. So I asked the Lord simply what the truth was. I didn't know what to ask, so I asked them just a simple question: what the truth was. So in my living room downstairs, I had the Bible in my hand, the Old and the New, and I thought, you know what? This isn't flowing together. This isn't making any sense. And, there's got to be more of a flow. There's got to be less confusion, and it has to be poetry. I mean, if our God is that great, then He's going to make something and write something that is fantastic. It doesn't have any confusion in it, and it's totally poetry, and it flows, and it's beautiful, and it's dynamic. It's incredulous. It's fantastic. It's provocative. It's wonderful. It's riveting, and that's what I wanted. I knew God was quite capable of that, and I didn't see that. I hadn't experienced that. I did experience somewhat, but I knew there was something still missing. So I prayed for the Lord. I asked the Lord, and I prayed to Him for the truth. And He gave me the truth one day after that simple prayer, after 2 weeks. And the answer was, sitting on my couch, the still small voice said to me, why don't you read Leviticus 23? So I opened Leviticus 23 up, and it was about the Jewish festivals. At least I call them the Jewish festivals. The written word says it's the Lord's festivals. And I thought, well, I don't understand this, Lord. I don't understand this. This is like gibberish. I've never heard about this. I knew it was in the Bible, but there was no teaching on it. And I don't understand what you're saying to me. And so I asked the Lord for 2 witnesses. I said, because I figured, through my learning in the last year, that, anything legal, you have to have 2 witnesses. Binding and legal. So I asked the Lord for that, and within an hour, I turned my television on to Sid Roth. He teaches, it's very dynamic teaching about miracles and things like that. And he had a person on there that was talking about Leviticus 23, just what I was just reading. And I thought, how fantastic. There's my answer. There's my witness. So I thought, well, you know what? This is kind of panning out. This is happening. I'm getting my witness. I think I'll go to the Christian bookstore to maybe pay a visit and see what else I can learn. Maybe I'll get my other witness. So I went to the Christian bookstore, and I asked for a book on the festivals. And they had a little pamphlet on the festivals, and they didn't have anything else. And I asked, well, do you have, and they were confused, and they thought, well, what do you want to learn the festivals? Are you a theology student? And I said, well, no, I'm not a theology student, and then I knew some of the girls, so I confided in them and told them, what had happened, what Lord and I were talking about, and they got excited. And we went to the Christian bookstore manager, and I told her my story, and she said, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Melissa, you're not the only one. There's many people. It's going on for the last 25 years. The people that have not been influenced at all and have asked the same question. No outside influence, no outside teaching, just that there is this asked the same question. The same question, that is, what's the truth? In a variety of different ways, depending on how we relate and how we talk in our cultures. And so I was one included into that fray of people where we all had one thing in common. We all asked the same question: what's the truth? And from that point on, the Christian manager introduced me to a woman in Petrolia who teaches HISO, which is a course you can take, and it's a course. HISO means the foundation in Hebrew, and it's a course, a very basic course on Hebrew foundation perspective on the basics of our faith, of the biblical narrative. So I spent, actually, it was a 14-week course. We spent a year going through it because I felt I needed to really get a grip that if this is real, I need to really get this proven to me. So we would go through the Hebrew, and so that was history. It was history, and after 8 years of reading and studying and going through books and building relationships and going to Israel, reading more and visiting with people, I knew that I was on the right track. That this is something phenomenal. This is a place of I know another Reformation coming for the world. And this is something where rubber hits the road. It's real. It's deep. It's not religious. It's a place where people don't know where to go. But Honey Locust is a place where people can feel freedom from religion, from judgment, and can feel free to ask questions and not be judged. And that's really what it is being yourself and asking your personal questions, your personality in your questions, and not feeling like you have to have the right question, the right way to put it. We feel at Honey and Locust, with our books and with our teaching and what things we like to share with the community, that we can be a light and a foundation and a place of peace, a place for answers, where we can come together and we can reason together, we can discuss together in freedom, and really enjoy the foundational meaning and the nuance and the flavor and the character of God, the God of the universe, the Hebrew God, the master of the universe. And it's all about, our Jewish brothers are the people of the book, and we're brothers. Jewish people have the Father, the Christian people have the Son, the Charismatics have the Spirit. I think we need them all, don't you think? I think it'd be great to have them all, and really just really enjoy the Lord and how He would have us enjoy Him and how He would have us experience Him. And I think we find it in the Jewish roots and our Hebrew roots, and we really need to get back to the basics. We really need to get back to the foundation. Our countries are built on the Hebrew Christian foundation, and we really need to get back there, and so we can experience a new revelation, a new experience, a higher place with the Father, and we can bring healing, and we can pump up the volume in our walk, in our lives, and that's the story. That's my story.